I can't explain to you how much I love that song. Bring revival, inhabit our praise, all of it, every bit of that song. Man, that hits so hard, especially in 2020. God, especially in 2020, man, where it just feels like it's nothing but fear and distraction and fear and distraction and God, we just need revival right now, today, not tomorrow, tonight. We need revival in you, in me, in our people, in our community, in our world. That song just resonates, dude. Oh my God, it had me in my feels. But yeah, I think we can all agree that this year's just been crazy. I don't think anybody will dispute that that 2020 has been an insane year of fears and distractions over and over and over and over again. And what I want to talk about tonight is that it fear is just that. It's a distraction. It is a distraction from your purpose, from your calling, from everything good that is actually happening in this world. Like there are so many good things that have happened this year that we have heard nothing about because of all the distractions, because of all the fears. I mean, every day you turn on the news, it's either you're being told to be scared of the virus, you're being told to be scared of your president or our next president, you're being scared to be scared of the vaccine, you're scared of the government. Like, it's just be scared of this, distract me with this, and nobody is like pointing you towards what we should be doing, coming together, finding peace, finding joy, finding happiness in the small things. And man, I go back to a time in my life where the biggest thing that I feared was taking tests. The biggest thing I going back then to being a child, and the my biggest fear was taking a test, right? And I was already a terrible test taker. I couldn't do it. I was an A student until the test came, and then I was breaking down. I was scared. I get test anxiety. I'd sit down there. I know everything until I start the test, and then I forget it all. But like, I'd get so annoyed at every little distraction that would happen during that test too. Like, I can hear that student that's 3 rows over clicking his pen, and I just want to throw and hurl something at him like, stop. I'm already struggling. I don't need your distraction. You're messing me up. As I've gotten older and I've walked further and further in this game of faith with God, I realize my walk in faith is a lot like taking that test. That the devil is always there clicking his pen. He's always there kicking the desk. He's always doing something to distract me from what God has assigned me to do. That teacher assigned me that test. That's the only thing I need to do is focus on that test. But there's that student that's clicking his pen, distracting me. Devil, the enemy, will always do that same thing and distract you. And here's the craziest thought about it is that student is on a test too. That student is trying to complete his test or her test. And they're so focused on their test that they don't realize that they're being a distraction to you. And sometimes I wonder, am I too focused on my test that I'm actually a distraction to somebody else? Am I interfering with someone else's purpose and walk in life without even realizing it because I'm too focused on my own issues, my own problems, that I don't see the bigger picture that I'm affecting somebody else? And I've had a lot of teachers in my life. On my 5th year of college, I've had a lot of teachers. And God is so unlike any teacher I've ever had before. Still to this day, not seen a teacher in school that is anything like how God teaches. Because here's the thing, every teacher I've had, every single one, puts a test in front of me and walks away and doesn't want me to say a word, doesn't expect me to talk to them. whatsoever during this test, right? That's wrong to do. Do not talk to me during this test. Do not dare ask for answers. This is on you by yourself. Go. And when I was new to my faith, I treated God the same way. God would lay me down a test and I'd get so excited, right? You know, I'm freshly saved. I'm ready to dive into this thing. I'm ready to get closer to you, God. Give me your test. Sweet. Let's go. Head down by myself. I'm going to figure this out. It took me a long time before to realize that that's not what God wanted me to do with his test. He wants me to ask questions. He wants me to come to him for the answers to that test that he gave me. If I ever did that in a classroom setting with all the teachers I've ever had in my life, I'd fail the test. But see, the whole point that God puts a test in front of you is to see if you'll ask him. He doesn't want you to do it alone. That wasn't the point of him giving you that test. The point was to see if you'd actually ask him. If you'd ask him how to work it out. Never had a teacher like God. God is so unlike. Working past that fear, that distraction of the student, of the clicking pen, to realize that there's a bigger point to this, that I'm not supposed to do this on my own. That opened a lot of doors in my faith. A lot of other opportunities for me to grow once I realized that, hey, I'm supposed to be working with you. I'm supposed to be working with you, God. I'm gonna put away the distractions. I'm gonna put away my fears. I'm gonna work with you. If you don't know, I work at a country club. I'm a waiter. I'm a server, and I had like this epiphany while I was working. I have great conversations with some people, and I really do enjoy my job. I really do love it. And there's been a couple people that, you know, have figured out, you know, I work with the church, with the youth. I preach on TikTok, all that good stuff. And they find out about it, and it's amazing to see how many of them will pull me to the side, like individually, and want to have a conversation about something, whether it's their spiritual, where they're at, like, hey, I want to answer, like, can you answer this question I have about church, or, you know, something like that. I was having this talk the other night while working with one of our servers, and, you know, he kept apologizing, like, hey, like, I'm sorry, I keep asking you, I'm sorry, and I'm like, dude, stop. If people would ask me to help them with their spiritual life as much as they're comfortable with asking me for their salt and pepper, a lot of things would be different in their life. And just right then and there, like, God, that's why this has been so heavy on my heart for this past week, is right then and there, God gave me, like, everything I could see that, man, when you go out to eat, when you go out to the restaurant, I that whole experience, I don't know if you remember going back. I remember the very first time my parents told me to ask the waiter for something for the very first time. And man, my heart started pumping. That fear came up. I was like, excuse me? No. I asked you to ask them for me. I can't do that. No, I'm not old enough. Stuff, all those distractions go through your head, right? All those distractions start popping up, and the biggest one is fear of it, for whatever reason, I had it in my mind that, you know, as a 10-year-old boy, that I was going to ask this server for something and they were going to look at me and laugh and say no, and that scared me. But when are we going to start realizing, you know, it took me a while to realize that server is there to help me in my experience. The experience is eating, right? That server is there to help me in that. And they're going to get anything I need to have the best experience while eating, right? Now, that server won't get me anything I want, but they will get me anything I need, right? I can't go ask that server for the keys to my future red Ferrari and he goes, sure, absolutely, here you go, sir. That's not how servers work in restaurants, right? But he will get me anything I need. When are we going to start realizing that our relationship with God is similar to the relationship we have with servers? See, God is there to help you. You are at the dinner table called life, and you are walking through it. And God is there as your server, as your provider, and will give you anything you need as long as you ask. And where people get so tripped up is when they make the mistake of thinking God is going to give them anything they want. God is not here to give you everything you want, no more than that server is there to give you anything that you want. But he will provide anything you need. It took a long time to break through that distraction to be able to focus on my test in school. It took a long time for me able to break through that distraction of fear to be willing and comfortable enough to ask a server for a simple salt and pepper shaker. It took a long time for me to get there. But once you break through, you understand the comfort, the joy, the happiness, how freeing that experience is of a simple dinner was without having the fear of the server. And as I look back on this year, as I look back on 2020, that has just been nothing but full of that, of distractions and fears, I start to wonder, what is the devil hiding? What is the devil trying to hide? Because once I broke through that distraction of fear in my test taking, I got really good at it. I got pretty good at school all of a sudden. My life in school became more prosperous. Once I broke through that distraction and fear in a simple restaurant setting and asking a server for help for something, for just enjoying my meal, the meal got a whole lot more enjoyable. Now I love having conversations with servers because I'm comfortable with it. I've broken through that distraction and that fear. What's on the other side of this breakthrough of this year? Because don't be mistaken, God is working. God has been working harder than ever this year. And it must be pretty darn big for the enemy to be sending this amount of distraction and fear to try to hide it from us. And that's the thought I want to leave you with tonight. What's on the other side of this breakthrough? What's on the other side of the year 2020? Keep pushing. Keep going. When you feel fear, go straight at it. There is something good on the other side of it. I love you guys. Thank you so much for listening in. I really pray that resonated with somebody, because it resonated with me, every single word. I mean, I can personally take that message and take it to the bank and work on it and chew on it, because I feel like we all sit in the same seat of this year 2020 and fear and distraction, and just needing to keep our head on the right path, needing to keep our eyes down the right path. But I hope you have a wonderful night. Please be safe. I'm praying over you. Talk to God tonight. Talk to God tonight. Pray over that. Pray for those fears to be removed, for the barriers to break down. Have a wonderful night. Love y'all.